Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus, where we've been doing really well, actually. We won easily the last run. We're going to play Azazel this time. That doesn't mean we will win easily, but it does mean we're well poised. MMLQJ0R4. I actually think that if you looked at it, I probably have a lower win rate with Azazel than with some characters. Not all of them, of course, but I think I probably lose as Azazel more than I lose as Isaac. Something about the fact that, like, if you were to take this run at the easiest possible path, and you just went, you know, like mom's heart, cathedral, and then blue baby, you're probably gonna win, like, maybe not all the time, but almost all the time. You hit me? I would go back, give me some footage of that, because I like to think that I was over top of the rock, okay? Maybe we had some overlapping colliders or something like that, but that... I want a refund on that damage, if I'm being honest. It's my HP and I want it now. But where you start to lose as Azazel is when your range actually starts to screw you. Wow. Black Lotus right off the bat is extremely good. Especially when we got an extra nickel out of it for free. But yes, like if you can get screwed a little bit fighting Isaac and Blue Baby because you have to get close to those bosses and that's when you're most likely to take the most damage. And you can get screwed for sure fighting Hush. Like Hush and Delirium as Azazel are definitely what kills you. It's not the heat, it's the Hush and Delirium. Doesn't really make any sense, but we're going to head down to the next floor. And we still have Boss Rush enabled. Here's the thing. The Azazel run is like... It's the payoff for random in the same way that the, like, Keeper and Lost runs are the scary thing about getting random. The thing about Eden is you're never going to have an Eden run that starts, or very rarely will you have an Eden run that starts and is worse than a Keeper start. Very rarely, or, well, probably a little bit more commonly, but very rarely are you going to have an Eden run that starts that is better than your Azazel vanilla start. But that's the peaks and valleys of the random streak, or the random selection tool at least, is that it really could go either way. You could have the easiest character in the game, or you could have the most difficult characters in the game. So we're just gonna roll with it and not worry too much about it. I'm not trying to speed run this, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, it's hard not to as Azazel when you're killing enemies so quickly. We're already gonna be on our deal with the devil coming up soon, and honestly, if it's Brimstone, you just win. Even more so than, like, with any other character in the game. Brimstone as Azazel is like an easy 100% win rate. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so we gotta use your logical thinking patterns here. We want to take this. Oh, but we don't want to become Dark Judas. Yeah, that's my bad, actually. I love being Dark Judas, but maybe we'll find a way to make this work, but if we become Dark Judas, we lose our Azazel Brimstone laser. So, you know, in hindsight, we actually totally could have done that and probably been okay. We have a lot of Dark Judas runs, though. For anybody who's like, Dark Judas is more novel than Azazel, you might be right in some situations, I'll admit, but we do also, you know, we play as Dark Judas a lot, to the point where it usually slows down my progress towards getting 1,001% or whatever it is. I think it's just 1,000,000%. Because I, you know, accidentally win as Dark Judas when I should have been winning as Lazarus or something like that. But either way, this is just a fail-safe right now, and then the Abaddon pickup is nice damage. But yeah, we could have done that differently. If I was doing, like, if I wanted to come back as Dark Judas, I guess we would have hit ourselves with as many bombs as possible. We might not have been able to do it, because what you want to do is, like, take Dark Judas, and then walk out, die on the next room, and then come back and take Abaddon, which might not have worked. I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter in the whole scheme of things. There's water under the bridge. Like a bridge over Isaac binding. Joke was pretty weak, honestly. If you laughed at that, I mean, you shouldn't feel bad about yourself, but you have enabled a bad joke. And that's like, ooh, Bloody Crown. Gives us item rooms on the womb. As I found out, because, you know, generally speaking, I only figure out what trinkets that have somewhat ambiguous value do. When enough people yell at me in the comments. So thank you for that on a recent episode. semi-recent at the very least. That's the other problem with being Azazel, is that sometimes we do find ourselves, if we're fighting enemies that explode, it becomes sort of difficult for us to kill them without exploding ourselves, so try not to hemorrhage too much HP here. But honestly, I mean, as soon as you random Azazel, you go from like, oh, it could be dicey to, this is probably like at least a 90% win rate, if not higher. Like, I understand. I understand completely. Keys, please. Now, what is like the ideal Azazel payout for us? It's very simple. You get Tammy's head, and then anything that makes your brimstone lasers longer, more damaging, or just cooler gets the job done. So, really, Tammy's head requires golden chest access most of the time, so I'm a little bit wary about that right now. Oh, but there is a key. Pretty much everywhere. It's gonna be hot. Are we going to use this to get... Two different mindsets here. I think we have to swing for the fences because it's an Azazel run and we're already in like a great position. So what I'm going to try to do is first off look for another key, because I'd like to get to the item room as well as do what I'm about to do. But I think I'm going to try to open the golden chest on the boss trap room, which is actually a mob trap room, and use that, there's our second key, to try to like pivot to get all of the chests. Because again, Tammy's head is just, it's a lot of fun. It also opens up the possibility that this could be like one of the fastest runs we've ever done. Beating a run in 20 minutes is not that noteworthy. Beating a run in 16 minutes is actually incredibly noteworthy. You know, it's the difference between rushing through a run and quote-unquote speed running, or racing maybe. Okay. Tears up is great, shot speed down is irrelevant. So, let's check our second secret room, which should definitely be here. More keys, beautiful. Oh, the sneeze. The keys and sneeze. Don't you deprive me of this! The sneeze just got stored up in my brain somewhere. I just felt a swell of sneeze-based pressure up there in the frontal lobe. Probably non-lethal. Okay, so let's go. We've got enough keys to open this up now, so let's do this. This will give us enough money to go to the shop, almost certainly, so we're going to get a nice little chain reaction. Now, do we want the Fool card, or do we want the World card? Because the World card is obviously useful, but mostly just for convenience's sake. I think the Fool card enables us to do something we wouldn't otherwise be able to do, so let's grab that. It enables us to get out of boss rush. I mean, sure, we might get the opportunity to change that up later anyway and get another teleport card that's even better, but why not? The World card doesn't provide us with too much. I also think the body is kind of, at this point, is irrelevant for us. We don't have any, extreme desire to get that taken care of right now. So Steam sales, beautiful, and I mean deep pockets is pretty good. If we can manage to make deep pockets happen, that would be something. But to be honest with you, I'm kind of attached to this idea that we're getting pretty close to getting our donation machine back to 900 and something cents. Like, effectively, we've had unlimited money in our donation machine, but only because we've been proactive about making sure that we always donate. But we've been seriously, like, our donation machine has been fucked for like a year. I don't really want to fight that guy, to be honest with you. We've almost atoned for the mistake that I made so long ago. Now, I didn't want to do that. That was an accident, but it'll be mostly symbolic when that donation machine comes, you know, back to, I don't really need to get it to 999. That just seems like you're tempting fate, but you know, keep it in the 950s or something like that. And effectively, that bank has unlimited money. If you'll excuse me. Just a little nose wipe. Just a little taste. Touch my body. Now, I'm no Mariah. So I'm not going to suggest that I know how to sing like Mariah. But I did have her poster from the Heartbreaker music video up in my room as a 13-year-old for reasons that I don't want to admit. That's not true, by the way. I never had a Mariah Carey poster. I've never been much of a poster guy. I have a poster up in my office right now, and the poster is it's like an alphabet of indie games. So every letter has a character associated with it. It was drawn by Dracula Fetus, who does like the art and animations for my thumbnails and separate videos. So, you know, you look at it, you got like B is for Braid, and it's got Tim from Braid, you know, the character who's just standing there and like, R for Rogue Legacy, you got the Rogue Legacy Knight. It's a little, it's a time capsule, because this poster, I think, came out like 2013 or 2014. It's interesting to see, like, what would be on the poster now. Like, F for Fez, sure, that makes sense. Maybe now it would be F for Firewatch or something like that. I don't know, but I guess you don't really see too much there. You're gonna draw like a nice little pastel-colored tree or something like that. Would have been other huge... Oh, there definitely would be like D for Darkest Dungeon. What's D right now? D is for Don't Starve. I mean, that's also... You know, I'm trying to think of bigger indie games. S for Stardew Valley. Okay, what's S right now? Super Meat Boy. Dude, we gotta come up with games with different letters. These letters are already spoken for. Like some of these, U is for Unholy Heights. I understand, this dude had problems looking for U games. Unholy Heights is a totally fine game, but now... Say it with me. You know that's gonna be Undertale. What the fuck does the Dull Razor do? This is my chance. And I know well that it's my chance. We need to use this to take damage, I think. And we're gonna learn what this item does. Does this cause us to take damage, but not, actually lose HP? So it just activates anything that... gets that helps us when we take damage, like Bloody Lust, for example. I mean, we got Guppy's head, but I'm not gonna keep it. I'm gonna try to make the Dull Razor work, and we'll go with Dark Matter as well. It's like the third time in 4 runs we're gonna skip. Do we see our item room? The third time in 4th runs we're gonna skip Mom's Knife. I'm starting to feel pretty good about it. So my thinking is that this causes us not to take damage. And it activates our items that only activate upon taking damage. We didn't go to the item room, right? I'm looking at this and I'm like, Blue Cap was last floor. Penny Bag, or Sack of Pennies, was last floor. Steam Sale, yeah, we didn't, okay. So I did not take damage. Maybe it does a little damage to the enemies on the room. There's some cool interactions here. I already know that I've missed many opportunities to use this. For example, if you had like, varicose veins, and then like really good damage. This is a pretty swell item, it seems like, but it seems like a niche item that is actually kind of cool. I'm thinking now, you know, Bloody Lust, Fanny Pack, any old bandage, anything that causes the Gimpy, for example. Assuming they cause you to have a chance to gain something on getting hit and not on actually taking damage, then that's fantastic. So what if I do like... Yeah, it totally works. You can use it like IV Bag to get out of the curse room without taking damage. Alright, okay. I mean, I've been seeing this item in shops on occasion, and I've always just been like, it's probably not that good. And I'm realizing now that that was a very short-sighted way to look at things. One book away from getting to Bookworm, which I don't think is particularly exceptional for us, but... It will, if we're able to hit an enemy, it'll allow us to do a lot of damage. Now, most enemies die after being touched for like 1/4 of a second anyway. Oh, the sneeze. The sneeze. It's returned to me. And it's gone again! You're so far away. Nothing ever seems to make that much sense anymore. It would be so nice if I could have 1 sneeze or 4. 1 sneeze or more was way better. Oh well. Maybe that'll ensure I don't get sued by the estate of the Carpenters. If you excuse me, I don't listen to the Carpenters. Oh, that's not true. I only listen to one Carpenter, and his name, Jesus Christ. So get your devil music out of here, please. Could you? Thank you. Yeah, but I mean, I really want to see item rooms on the next floor. I hope that we can compromise on this one, viewers, because I know that, like, I'm gonna have some people not happy with this episode, and it's largely gonna be because of the result that we got on the random roll. You know, people are just gonna see that it's Azazel and be like, you know, fuck it. But I'm meeting you halfway here. Oh, there's a Bookworm. Or we already had Bookworm, I suppose? My bad, then. But I'm meeting you halfway here, you know? We're experimenting with Dull Razor, trying to learn something about it. And I'm taking a trinket that I haven't given the credit that it deserves. And I skip Mom's Knife, you know? I think we're hitting a happy medium here. Now, that medium is not going to be so happy if I skip Mom's Knife on a future run, or somehow in this run it goes awry. But if I skip Mom's Knife and it ends up being bad, but it ends up leading like directly to our demise. But to be honest with you, we've skipped Mom's Knife 3 times in a row, and all those runs have turned out okay. Doesn't mean that we can do it forever. I mean, 3 is a pretty low sample size, but unless you were sampling like, I don't know, nuclear bombs, then it would be like, it's probably significant. It's by virtue of the magnitude. But these enemies are still the worst for us. Like, enemies we have to get super close to and just have to basically hope we dodge accurately. So, the range up is nice, actually, and if we don't get Brimstone, we can just continue to extend our range piecemeal, and it is sort of working. Well, a little bit. So, even if that's all we use Dull Razor for, I at least understand it now. But I would really, really like to get something like Bloody Lust. And if we can make Bloody Lust happen here, or, you know, I'm still thinking about other stuff, but Gimpy is another one that strikes me as potentially being extremely useful. I think we'd see some good stuff happen there. Has the potential, with the right synergies, to be one of the better shop items, I think. The other thing we could really use on this run is actually more speed. Because if you can't, that was so bad. If you can't avoid getting close to enemies, at least it's nice to have an escape, you know, get out of there as fast as you can. You may also be saying, hey dummy, you can use Dull Razor to avoid taking damage. If it looks like an enemy's gonna hit you, just press the spacebar and you'll be immune for a few seconds. While that's true, it's not as good as the IV bag escape for a couple of reasons. But it's better for a reason as well, and the reason it's better is because it doesn't cost you HP. And if you don't have any red hearts, that becomes very valuable. However, here's the disadvantages. First off, you have to do that, and to do that, you have to be like an Isaac god, at least to do it consistently. Secondly, you need to have a charge for it, and it only gets a charge once every 2 rooms, so you're a little bit in the dark on reusability there. We're gonna pay 7 cents to smelt the Dark Crown. I don't think I'm gonna take Mama Mega, to be honest with you. And the reason is really just that we'd only be using it for the rest of this floor and to open Boss Rush, but Boss Rush is gonna be open anyway. And I've had comments from people that are like, it actually hurts my eyes. So I will still take it in some situations, but this situation is, there's no reason to take it, and there's only a few reasons not to take it. So I think we'll just not take it, you know? Just to be nice. I'm not gonna go to the point where I'm like, I'm gonna deliberately lose a run in order to not take it, but I will, like, you know, I'll try to meet you halfway. In that situation, there was no reason at all to pick it up, so I'll meet you halfway on that one, no doubt. I hope we're reaching, like, an equitable compromise here. Why did I do so much damage on that one? It was a little weird. Definitely, we're gonna go Polaroid. Small rock, not small rock. Not Krampus. I will take Duality, because we can afford it, basically. And now we can hold Tonsil as well. Occasional Poison Shot, Bad Breath, I can't remember, but the Virus is good enough. Moon card out. The Virus, I don't think, does anything for us with Dull Razor. Oh, and not necessarily true. We could walk into enemies immediately after popping Dull Razor. And then we would get the chance to get a second heart off of them. Or a demon heart, I should say. So it's a pretty good get in the whole scheme of things. We haven't had... Oh, it's totally worth it. There was a cool thread on the Isaac subreddit the other day that was like, what do you prefer, the mind, the body, or the soul? And I think it's a good question because those items are obviously thematically linked. And they're all good in their own way. The top comment, I believe, said the soul. Like, the spirit hearts are useful. I agree with that. The ability to repel enemies and shots is very useful, and I agree with that as well. Personally, the reason they discounted the body, I think, is obvious, is that red hearts are less valuable usually as the game goes on. Usually, defense and damage are more important late in the game, because you kind of tend to accrue red hearts just the more you play. Not always, but much of the time. And the mind is like, it doesn't give you a direct statistical or defensive benefit. And there's other items from the shop that basically accomplish the same thing, and I do agree with that, but I would probably still say that out of all of these, the Mind is probably my favorite. I like being able to have pace on a run. Like, I like not having to do anything that I don't have to do, and sometimes that, you know, it ties into my inability to stop and smell the roses, but that was stupid of me. How ironic. It ties into my inability to stop and smell the roses, but at the same time, it leaves my morale high because I'm not getting bogged down in minutia. That's my perspective, at least. So Mama Gertie is not a tough fight, particularly as Azazel. Speed upgrade is actually pretty useful. Figured we'd just throw this guy down here and see what we get. It's not like we're short for time. Now, are we going to do Hush, or are we going to do, you know, Delirium? We have the consumables, at least right now, we have the consumables necessary to make Hush plausible, but I really don't want to do it with low range, unless we get, like, amazing range, amazing damage ups, like, you know, Capricorn, something like that, Cricket's Head, or something along those lines. I don't see myself doing it, just because that's pretty much one of the very, very few ways you could die as Azazel. At this point, at least. Chaos card, by the way, would be something that would, it would tilt me in that direction for sure. So I'm taking Moldy Bread. The idea here is that hopefully Moldy Bread... we don't care about that. Hopefully Moldy Bread becomes fuel for a deal with the devil here. So I will, even though I took Duality, I'm going to go for a deal with the devil. I mostly, if we're being honest, took Duality because I knew that we could do so without compromising our run whatsoever. You know, we've already gotten back to the same amount of HP we had before. Wait a minute. I fucked up on the last floor. How did I fuck up? I forgot that I had Bloody Crown because I smelted it. One of the very rare situations in which you could possibly conceive of misusing the Trinket Smelter. But yeah, I didn't explore the entire floor, so I missed out on the item room. But let's, you know, I've noticed it. Let's fix that and make sure we try to get it on this floor. If there is one. I don't know if it's a guarantee or if it's a chance. I think it should be a guarantee, given that if it's only a chance, that's kind of horrible. Considering how long you need to hold the trinket before it provides you with possibly no benefit at all. Stars. I mean, Wheel of Fortune is better, actually, at this point. The stars is actually bad. Not bad, but it's just a teleport. The Wheel of Fortune gives us a guaranteed item on the chest. The stars does no such thing, so... Keep yourself alive and keep yourself going here. You're doing great work. Haven't taken unnecessary damage in quite some time. Don't pat yourself on the back too hard. You are playing Azazel. Yeah, do we want Tonsil or Cain's Eye? We already sort of see everything. And we're getting like one Spirit Heart saved with Dull Razor every now and again, but I'm telling you, dude, one day, Bloody Lust. There's our item room. Can we get more than one item room? Probably just one. Ended up just being Ball of Tar, but that's an okay benefit for having held this trinket for as long as we have. I don't know, you're tempting me. You're tempting me into this Hush fight here. I don't really want to. We'll see, 67% chance of a deal with the devil and angel. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I'm leaning towards no right now, though. Just because Hush's Azazel is not that fun. Also, I feel like, since I've been doing dailies, it's a lot easier to say no to Hush and no to Delirium, because we have... Those are filled in for us to begin with a lot of the time. So, you know, a Shoal run, you want to go to Hush. Sorry, you want to go to Hush and then Delirium. So you're kind of like, it's pre-programmed for you. No deal? Alright, I'm just gonna... Fuck it. You knew this was gonna happen, probably. The more the lady doth protest. That's not how that expression goes. Blank card, Wheel of Fortune. Starter deck allows us to hold blank card, Wheel of Fortune. Okay, means nothing right now. Let's go down. We got marked. Oh, fuck. Oh, no, it's great. It's just a huge tiers upgrade in this case. Cricket's body. Extremely bad because we get a range downgrade. Okay, so that's very poor for us. Yeah, I don't like this at all. So what were we holding? It was... Oh, the rune. There's a 3-cent rune. Bracano. We have Dull Razor versus Blank Card Wheel of Fortune. Well, I think at this point you gotta say Blank Card Wheel of Fortune is where it's at. And we'll take Wheel of Fortune cards down with us. So this is genuinely actually a problem. Marked, again, was good. However, Cricket's body was terrible. And then, like, it's a total inversion of the norm for us here. One thing I'll say for certain is that we're extremely pleased to have the soul, which is not going to make it impossible for us to take damage, but should minimize it. Oh, I just stood like right in the way of that one. Should minimize it to a mild extent, at least. And we can always go back and buy one Spirit Heart. We're going to go to the Cathedral after this. We're not going to go to the Delirium fight. But yeah, who would have thought? We chose Marked and Cricket's body accidentally. We're happy about Marked and sad about Cricket's body. It's a whole new world, dude. The duality of life. It's gonna take a while. Our damage is fine, but it obviously could be better. What's the point of Blank Card Wheel of Fortune? Well, it's honestly a free item every 4 rooms, which is really good. Especially when your luck stat's a little on the low side. Guarantees you some extra items on the chest. The fight is going fine so far. Against Big Hush, we haven't really been... Well, we haven't been hit at all. We're almost halfway through. But it only gets more difficult. Although the flies are kind of like my worst enemy right now. The soul can sometimes have unpredictable effects as well. Like, it will repel shots, and it seems to be working very well against these shots right here, but it can also repel them into a strange trajectory that maybe gives them a chance to hit me in the future, although I'm obviously hoping that that's not the case. Yeah, I mean, for all the complaining I did about, oh, Azazel Hush is too hard. Actually seems to be, like, relatively fine. We just took our first hit and our second hit. We're still in a great spot, though. We are Dark Judas. I mean, we can die. As long as we don't die... yeah, I had a feeling that was coming. As long as we don't die... prior to killing Hush. Help me, yes. Then we're fine. We can die on the Cathedral, come back as Dark Judas, and have a pretty good chance. I mean, it might actually be for the best, considering we have, like, Cricket's body. Although, you know, then we'll have to deal with Marked anyway, so... Kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Extremely bad damage that time. This hasn't been a great Hush fight, but there were periods of it that I'm relatively pleased with. Just trying to, like... If I can push back the shots before they explode, it might be easier to dodge them in that kind of latent period where we're not doing anything else. Please, just... By the way, what was the biggest mistake that we've made on this run, at least recently? Moldy bread. I took it thinking we'd have a pretty good shot at a deal with the devil in the future, and we did. Unfortunately, we didn't get one, so... Kind of screwed us out of permanent Polaroid invincibility, and ironically, that 1 HP upgrade probably cost us like 2 or 3 Spirit Hearts right here. And this is no joke, actually. We're kind of in a tough spot. I don't want Dull Razor. It was fine for us, even good, but... and I'm going to take the left hand. Not down to the chest, but at least down to the cathedral, or up to the Cathedral, rather. And, yeah, this is no joke. Like, we're actually in a bit of a tough spot. Obviously, if we can get some Spirit Hearts working for us, that's good. As long as we have Dark Judas in the bag here, we're not feeling, like, too bent out of shape. But we're about to have 3 boss fights that are, like, the hardest 3 boss fights for Azazel. At least if you got shit range, which we definitely, like, fit the bill right now. Hoping to get rid of, like, one of these Wheel of Fortune cards for a better rune, but until then, I'm just saving because we would like to... If we have no other option, there's worse things to do than bring another Wheel of Fortune card down to the next floor and get a free item out of it, but obviously, like, an Algiz or a Dagaz would be very valuable right now. Can you get item rooms on the Cathedral with Bloody Crown? I do not know. We really hit the ideal situation for Bloody Crown, didn't we? Like, being able to trinket smelt it just gives you 2 extra item rooms without actually having an inherent cost to it at all. So, we're going to drop the left hand. We're going to grab this. We're going to grab this. We're going to go fight this dude, and luckily our damage is good because I think the faster we can get through this fight, the better our life is going to seem. Help. I'm not doing any damage to the mainframe, dude! There we go. I'm only hitting the ancillary parts. That was really stupid. Okay, it's up to you at this point. Don't let that Hush fight be the dominant theme of this run. We gotta keep stacking up wins so that I can still feel superior that I chose not to take Mom's Knife for like the 3rd run in a row, even though Mom's Knife with Azazel isn't that good to begin with. Alright, here's where things get a little funky. I'm ready for it. Our luck is at 1, so I don't expect to get too much. Dunce Cap. Bob's Curse, Blood of the Martyr, Prayer Card, Monstro's Lung. Monstro's Lung with Azazel is like horrible, right? Or it's amazing, and then combine it with Dunce Cap? Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but I like it. We will take Blood of the Martyr, we will take Bob's Curse, we will take the Prayer Card and use it once. And then once every 4 rooms, get ready for a new item. So, how do you aim with this? Yeah, I have no idea. I'm just gonna sort of be there, see how things work. You know, get in the general vicinity of an enemy and then fire your gun. That seems sensible. I will say that I think with Azazel this is good, but if we end up coming back as Dark Judas anytime soon, we might not be as stoked about the fact that we got all these weird brimstone lasers coming out of our face, but maybe we will be. I don't know. We've got Cricket's Body and Monstro's Lung, and I think our rate of fire is going to be good. Pin, pin, pin. That was beautiful. Okay, we got our item. Oh, with 1 luck. What? But also, okay, thank you. So our item ended up being Crystal Ball. Fortunately, I didn't want it to pay out right off the bat. I wanted it to give us some Spirit Hearts or trinkets. And then we could, you know, blow it up and get an item, but apparently no such luck. Okay, thank you, Virus. I really appreciate that. We never, if I have one regret on this run, we never made the Virus pop with Dull Razor. In fact, we never even really tried. We should have. But we got Blank Card pretty soon after it, so Blank Card honestly might have enabled a victory here. The only thing that made a victory have to be enabled in the first place was choosing to fight the Hush for no reason, but, like, so be it. It wasn't for no reason. We got marked in Cricket's Body, which were bad, but yeah, I digress. Wheel of Fortune Hermits. Sure, that's obviously worth nothing. This time I'm just going to blow you up. I want a different item, and it's Bomber Boy, which is dangerous, but also quite effective. Sneeze. I told you. You will not deprive me forever. The sneeze will exist. Oh, that was bad. Okay. We should be totally fine. Doesn't help that much. Doesn't necessarily hurt, though. You know, the speed upgrade is good. So is that the play? Bomber Boy bombs? As long as you... Ooh. Bomber Boy bomb. You know, that's Holiday Road. It's an incredibly poor rendition of Holiday Road. Nothing lasts forever, even poor Holiday Road. I basically made the worst conceivable dodge there and still lived, so you'll excuse me if I do feel like somebody up there actually likes me. Not doing the delirium fight. That was a fun run. That was kinetic. It's a run with a short skirt and a long jacket. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Upside a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.